Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the Vegan World 2026 Moonshot podcast. And today we are going to be talking about reimagining our global civilization. If you think about what our global civilization has become, it is founded on two axioms that are false. First axiom is that the pursuit of happiness is best accomplished by stoking and satisfying a never ending series of latent desires. And the second axiom is that life is a competitive game in which the privileged can possess, enslave, and exploit animals, nature, and the underprivileged for the pursuit of happiness. These are both false. And this is why this entire civilization is crumbling in front of our eyes. We see things that are happening that we just cannot believe. How could this happen? But that's the way. When something is built on axioms that are false, that's the way they crumble. So we have to rebuild our global civilization. We have to reimagine a global civilization that's based on axioms that are true. Okay. Number one, the pursuit of happiness is best accomplished by looking within us. Looking within us, and this is what yoga has been teaching for thousands of years. Look within you and you will find it. Yoga is union. It's about connecting us back with nature. And there is a set process for achieving it. It's an 8-step process for achieving it. And obviously, when a concept like this is appropriated by a dominant culture, it gets modified. And so I was shocked when I came to this country and I discovered that yoga was all about, rubber mats and tight pants. And it really was a spiritual process that I was taught back home. And of course, the second foundational axiom that the new civilization has to be built on is that life is a collaborative process in which we each give what we can, we receive all that we need, and we become all that we are. And the foundation of that is veganism. So it's yoga and veganism. That is the foundation of a new thriving civilization. And this is why it gives me great pleasure to welcome our guests for today's podcast, which is Tabai Atkins and his mom, Sahil. And they exemplify these two foundations of a new civilization. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And I know, we spoke like 4 or 5 episodes ago.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't stream that on Jane Unchained or any of the other channels. So I thought, wow, I better have another conversation with you.
Yeah. That's okay. That's good for us because we love this. We love talking to you.
Oh, I love talking to you too. It's incredible what you guys have been doing. And it's as if Mother Nature is working through you to show us how to live.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell the viewers, how did you get into this? I know it may be a repeat for you, but it's a very interesting story.
It started when I was 6 years old. My mom was just diagnosed with stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, and she was very weak and broken down because of all the intensive treatment, like the chemotherapy, and to the point where she couldn't even walk on her own. Mm-hmm. And she'd never done yoga before. We barely even heard about yoga and what it was. It wasn't until she was 2 weeks cancer-free that she got into yoga for the first time. And she was practicing for about 2.5 to 3 months. And I noticed how much it was helping her heal from all the effects of chemotherapy and cancer. I saw this over the 2.5 months. She was completely recovered, back to her healthy, happy self, but even more so than even before cancer. And I noticed this, I was almost 7. I told her that I wanted to teach yoga so I could help others heal the way yoga helped heal her.
Yeah, and that's how it started. I thought he was telling me what he wanted to be when he was a grown-up. And I thought, oh, that's really cute, Tabe. And he said, no, Mom, I remember in your training that you could find your Dharma at any age. And, it's like you're a new person. It's, it was like yoga is like magic, the way it just helped you so much in such a short time.
Right.
And so that was his mission. And he started teaching on his own. He got his 200-hour certificate at age 10. And he's 15 years old now. And he's been... I think he has 10 specialty certificates now, and
I'm on another one right now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then we started, and then we became vegan, and shortly after, and that was another life changer for both of us. And when we became vegan, it was such a connection with yoga and veganism,
especially with the Ahimsa.
Ahimsa, right? I mean, you can tell them about that.
Yeah, well, Ahimsa is nonviolence to not just people, it's to all beings. So being vegan is a great way to follow Ahimsa.
Right. So what was the process for learning about veganism, and how did you get into it?
Well, we've been hearing about veganism, people telling us that we should go vegan. And we didn't really have any information about it, not knowing what it was all about.
Yeah, there was no reason. No one said that, these are the reasons why. It was just, we had a handful of vegan friends and that said, yeah, you need to be vegan. And we thought, oh, well, we're close enough. We don't eat red meat or pork. And I would always say that, right? And so then we just, Tabe was not really wanting to have meat, not the chicken or fish that I would give him. But growing up, I was, we were programmed to think this is what you need to have to be healthy. You need to have your milk to be healthy and to grow strong. And a lot of my family still believes that. And so Tabe, his intuition was telling him something different. He said, my stomach doesn't really feel good when I'm eating this. And we were in New York flying back from filming for the Harry Connick Jr. show. And in the airplane, they gave Tabe a cheese platter and chicken pasta. And then he had it and he said he felt like there was a rock in his stomach. Like he just had this uneasy feeling. So when we landed, he said, Mom, I'm going vegan. Like, that's it. And so the next morning we woke up and I watched What the Hell. And I said, I'm right there with you. That's it. And that's how we just made the switch 100%. It was a no-brainer for us. It just, as soon as Tabe said, Mom, this is, before he wasn't saying I'm going vegan, and it wasn't like I said no. He just was like, I don't really like this. And I thought, well, honey, we don't have enough information yet to prove that this is the right way to go. But What the Health was more than enough information for me. And as soon as I saw that,
we had the motivation to go vegan, and What the Health just gave us all the information that we needed to know.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, we are sort of conditioned. I mean, they kind of drill it into us. You have to keep eating this.
Yeah.
Well, at the beginning, my parents said, no, you're making a big mistake. And, I want to make sure Tabe's healthy and strong. And so I felt I was struggling with it at the beginning because I was like, gosh, am I doing the right thing? And, my mom's like, he's not going to grow and he's going to be skinny and he's going to get sick and you're going to get sick. And then I was like, you guys, I'm just, my intuition is telling me this is the right way to go. And this is where we're going to go. And, and so I'm happy that we did. I'm happy that we finally made that transition. And then throughout these last almost 4 years, we've just been evolving more as healthier, whole foods, plant-based vegan, and educating ourselves and educating others too as we learn.
We've been vegan for almost 4 years now. So we take all the knowledge and information we've learned in those 4 years to helping people, to help them move along further on their vegan path, not taking as long as we did to learn all of that.
Right. I mean, if you think about why your parents said that, he may not grow if he doesn't eat meat, we don't seem to think that, see elephants who are growing really, really fast, just eating leaves, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's what they thought. I mean, even my brother would make fun. He's like, "Oh, what are you guys just gonna have some lettuce for dinner?" And it's like, no, it's so much more than that. And at first we were eating a lot of processed food, but I didn't mind because we just didn't we didn't know.
This was
Yeah,
our
this
first
was the
stage
beginning.
of
It was-
veganism.
Yeah, we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they have all these great cheeses and they have all this great deli meats, and it was fine. I was happy because at least we were not harming the planet, the animals, and you know,
Right. And we weren't.
we didn't.
We
really,
were eating healthier, just not healthy.
Yeah,
Right.
and then we transitioned to okay,
Oh.
no more processed food.
Yes.
And then it was no oil, no
sugar.
no processed oil, sugar, and then we now have been Whole Foods plant-based for more than a year now, and I'm a chef, Tebey's a chef, and so we get very creative in the kitchen, and every day we're creating new recipes. So even before, when we were not having when we were not Whole Foods plant-based, when we were having oils and sugar, we were still creating. So then we just kept modifying our recipes as we've evolved. And it's been really fun doing that too.
And it's really amazing how we've been getting the same flavors, not adding oil, not adding sugar. And
better flavor, actually.
Better flavor. And all the food we eat is healthy. There's no sugar in it. We don't have to worry about having too much sugar, the oil. And
we don't have that heavy feeling after we eat. It's a really nice feeling.
Right. You know, I mean, there are so many dishes that in our traditional culture as well, that's oil-based. And at first when I thought, oh, wow, can I turn that into non-oil-based version that would taste just as good? But you try it and it actually works good.
It really does. I mean, I'm
it's
Persian,
really
and you know, Persian food.
It revolves around oil and meat and rice.
Yeah, oil, meat, and rice. And so when we told my mom that we're not going to have oil anymore, she's like, "Oh, well, you guys are not going to be able to have tahdig, the crispy rice on the bottom." And I looked at Tebey and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And we still were like, "Well, we're not going to have it if that's what it is. That's what it is."
Tahdig is the hardest thing to give up.
And the first time we made it, it turned out better than we've ever made it with oil. And then when we showed my parents, it was actually at Tebey's birthday, we Zoomed and they said, my mom was like, "Oh, so you guys gave it up, huh? You guys couldn't go without oil?" I was like, "No, this is no oil." And they were like, "What?" And they went so close to the camera to look like, "What?" They couldn't believe we did it. And everyone in the family that was there was shocked. And they were calling us. I mean, I think it just kind of, I think it took over Tebey's birthday. It was the tahdig rice.
But that was one of the first, that was like the first few weeks of being no oil, no sugar. So we were just trying out all the different things we can do. So making the tahdig for the first time with no oil. There was the blueberry muffins.
The fries. Cheesecake.
No, non-fried, French fries, cheesecake. Right.
Yeah,
and it's all really good.
So tell us the secret. How did you make that burnt rice without oil?
You know, everything that whenever we're making rice, there's different things. We make broth ourselves.
We make our own vegetable broth.
Yeah, and so
that's one of our main oil substitutes.
Yeah, so we use water or we use broth or we mix it together, and sometimes we use yogurt too, depending on what kind of.
Of course, vegan.
Yes,
yogurt.
Everything is vegan. And then of course, you know, with tahdig, no matter what you use, you've got to be. Yeah, your timing has to be really good. You got to cross your fingers as you're flipping the pot over to make sure that you got it right.
You cross your fingers and hope for the best.
So how many times did you try before you got it working?
It was our first try.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know, I told Tebey because I know for his birthday, that's what he wanted. He said, "Forget about a cake. I want a tahdig cake." And I was like, "Okay, honey, I'm just letting you know right now, if it doesn't work, I love you and happy birthday. You know, I'll make you something else." And when he saw it, I mean, his mouth just dropped. He was like, "What? We did it. Like, this was crazy." It was our first try,
really
and it was the most. I'll have to send you a picture afterwards so you can see it.
The most beautiful looking tahdig.
Yeah.
So what was the base for that? Was that yogurt base for that?
It was,
Yeah. We did yogurt
And
and we did yogurt, saffron water, and broth.
Wow.
All
Yeah.
I went all in.
No, that sounds awesome, actually.
Yeah, and it was very flavorful.
Right. Yeah, I would say it has to be more flavorful than just putting oil at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have that,
And
that
it's not as
feeling,
it's
you know,
not
that
greasy.
heavy, you know,
Right.
you don't have grease coming off the side of your mouth. And I mean, even though tahdig with the grease, you know, always tasted good, now having this, it really didn't taste as
Guilt-free
good as
tahdig.
this.
Yeah.
You still get that crunch and flavor, but you actually taste all the other good flavors, not just
And the broth enhances its flavors too.
Right. I can imagine.
yeah, especially when
Yeah.
you make homemade broth. I mean, homemade anything is better than
Everything
box.
everything that we have is homemade.
Everything. We do everything from scratch.
Especially since it's not as easy to it's easy to find vegan food out there, but having it with no added oil, no added sugar, it's hard to have store-bought foods like that. So it makes it easier for us to make it ourselves. It's better because we know what's in it, and we can make it the way we want it. If there's something that we don't really want in our food, we can take it out when we're making it.
Yeah, it's very
Right.
good just to modify it. And actually, when people book us for cooking classes, their concern is, well, I don't have that much time, but you know, this is what I normally make. You know, we'll go over what their routine is and how long it takes them, and we show them how to make whatever it is they normally make in half the time with double the flavor, and then they're just like, wow, how did we just do this so quickly?
Right. So, are you planning a train the trainer type of courses so you can teach people how to become you?
That would be nice,
Yeah,
right? Well, I think he's actually starting a mentorship program soon.
Yeah, for kids.
For kids and teens, and that's really exciting. He's been working on that for a while. We're writing our cookbook,
Yeah, the book of our journey.
And yeah, I feel like, you know what, we are doing that with every class that we teach, with with everyone that we speak to, and everyone that listens. I feel like we're planting that seed for whoever is taking that seed and planting it, and that's what we want. We want the whole world to learn about veganism and, you know, good health and nutrition and yoga, and so that's what we're doing. We're inspiring to inspire others.
Right.
And whatever we can do, we do.
Yeah, we just keep on planting that seed to others. They plant that seed to more people, and soon we'll have a whole garden full of vegans.
Right.
We've got to hurry up before 2026, right?
Yes, I know. I mean,
we're making our rounds.
I think I want Kimaya to get in touch with you and get your mentorship program.
Oh,
that'd be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be really nice because it's going to be everything, you know. I mean, who better to be mentored by, right?
Right. Yeah. No, she loves to get her hands into food, into cooking.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah. So I think that would be a good start for you.
Yeah. It's really nice also that we're the jobs that we both have, our career, that we're able to do it together. You know, that this is both of our passion, and it's really nice.
Yeah, we get to do what we love, help people, help the planet, and it's really nice. We get to do what we love.
Right.
Which is helping others be
Yeah.
better versions of themselves and just improve and evolve into better beings.
Absolutely. It's about getting, all of us to join you.
Yeah.
To experience the joy and wonder that you're experiencing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also good. I was saying how we work together and we do everything with the yoga and cooking together. We definitely complement each other. I'm very much, when we're trying to help someone or inspire them, I'm very, I don't want to say pushy, but I'm like, you just got to do this. Like, this is the way you have to be. And if they want help, I will send them a long list of things. And Tibet takes the very sensible kind of approach where he's very, he's more calm about it and not so pushy.
Mm-hmm.
And but the way he does it is, it's so nice because they hear him and they want to do it. You know, just he doesn't judge anyone. I'm not judging anyone. I mean, of course, I don't like that people are not vegan, and I'm like, I don't understand how are you just not making that change? But he's like, you know what? Just like us, you know, it wasn't our time until it was. We just have to help others until it becomes their time, and then that way it's something that we make it where they want to do it, not
Right.
we're pushing them. So it's a good balance because I'm like shaking them. And he's like petting them, like, it's okay.
So BJ is asking, do you teach both yoga and cooking classes?
We do. We teach yoga classes, cooking classes, and the yoga classes that I teach are for everyone. There's restorative yoga, kids yoga, yoga for kids on the autism spectrum, yoga for cancer, vinyasa yoga. Well, I have 10 specialty yoga certificates.
And I've got 18.
Yes.
Okay.
And all of his classes, I mean, you can book anything on his website, tibeatkins.com. It was in the corner there somewhere. And also, you can book a private class with us, a group class. And also he has an online video subscription series where you can subscribe and have unlimited access to over 130 videos, both yoga and vegan cooking videos.
And I made it to where for the cooking videos, it's easy to follow, step-by-step instructions. And for the yoga videos, it's to fit everyone's schedule. So there's yoga videos ranging from 5 minutes all the way to an hour and a half.
Yeah, and different levels as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this is a fascinating journey that you're on.
It really is, yeah. And you know, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, it was so horrible. I'm so sorry that you went through had cancer. But had I not gone through that, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, I just want to show the people asking about yoga. I want to show this. This
it's
is
a new yoga mat.
If you ever want
yoga mat.
Isn't that cute?
It is.
And on the bottom of all of his mats, it has his mantra that he ends every class and every cooking class, yoga class, and interview with, which is think good thoughts,
speak kind words, feel love, and give love.
Right.
And then you get to do it right next to him. Since we're doing everything virtually right now, you know, it's
then people can do yoga in person with me.
Yeah. So did you have a specific teacher that you worked with for yoga? Or is it
many teachers?
Many teachers. Okay.
Yeah. At the beginning, when he had just told me at 6 years old that he wanted to be a teacher, so I had just gotten my 200-hour teacher training certificate. And then, but for me, my passion, well, what I thought was, wow, this helped me so much physically, emotionally, mentally, because it wasn't just not being able to walk on my own. It was crying and having those dark thoughts about cancer and death. And I thought, wow, the tools that yoga gave me, had I had these tools when I was a kid, wow. I mean, all the stages of our life, we go through things. And of course, now we think back and, oh, that wasn't so important. But at that stage of our life, it really was. And I thought, there's so many yoga studios for adults, but you don't hear about it for kids. And so I went on and I was determined to open up the first kids yoga studio in Orange County, which I did in 2013. And I went on and got all these certificates to specialize in yoga for autism spectrum, yoga for kids, yoga for teens, family, and very different than a vinyasa or restorative yoga teacher training. Of course, once you have your 200-hour, you can teach anything that you want. But if you really want to connect and to the children and resonate to the kids, you really want to specifically train so that they stay engaged and not get bored.
Right.
And so I went on, and Tebe went with me to all my trainings, and he got his first certificate at age 7.
Yeah, my first certificate I got was at age 7. It was yoga for kids with the autism spectrum.
And then we did a kids yoga teacher training together. But then for him to teach on his own, he had to have a 200-hour certificate. All these other ones are just extras. And then that's when he got his 200-hour
At
age 10. But yeah, I got all these kids certificates. He's actually on his 4th kid certificate.
No, actually.
5th?
3, 4, 5,
He'll
6,
be counting for a while.
6.
6.
Kids yoga
training. And so I started teaching at all the elementary schools. Before he was homeschooled, I started teaching for his classes. Every class, we would do PE together with the students.
Mm-hmm.
We would do yoga and cooking camps. So it was like I incorporated the cooking with the yoga and art and just different things. And it was such a big hit. And people were so shocked because they said at the beginning, oh yeah, I take my kids to do yoga with me, and they did all the poses. It's not about them being able to do all the poses. You
Right.
want to keep them engaged. And in a kids yoga class, which we specialize in, they don't know that they're doing yoga. They think they're just having fun, but they're doing all the things that we as adults do to get out of our classes,
But
in games and activities, so that they engage.
Or with the song.
Yeah, and they have no idea. They leave there getting all the benefits, So if they were grumpy, or if they couldn't sleep, or they were having problems at school, those are all fixed now. And their parents are like, it was like they think it's magic we're doing. And because the kids, they're like, my kids are enjoying it so much and they're benefiting so much. I dropped him off and he was mean and angry. Then I picked him up and he was like, I love you, Mom. And, he ate all his dinner. And we would get letters from teachers, principals, therapists, that they took out some of their medication just from having a few months of doing yoga with us.
Right.
And so to me, I'm so happy that I did that, because there needs to be more yoga for kids, because kids, they absorb everything and they're so innocent. And it's not to say that yoga is going to fix everything, but it's going to give you the tools to help you go through everything in life: family, relationships, financial, work. And so that's what our job is, and that's our passion. And that makes me so happy to be able to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. It needs to be taught to children as they're growing up, so that becomes part of their life.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. I mean, because why are so many adults doing it? They say, oh gosh, it's helping me. They want to be mindful. They want to sleep better. They want to eat better. They want to feel better. They want to think better. Well, don't we want our kids to grow up and in that transition, especially when they're going through those really critical teenage years where their bodies are changing, their feelings are changing? If they have these tools at that age, it's going to help them, and it's going to make them more confident, better body awareness, self-awareness, and they're going to
awareness of
others, and and so so that is like my whole thing is when he started teaching and he got his 200-hour, he was teaching adult classes.
And the adult was teaching the kids, the kid was teaching the adults.
A lot of people thought before they came to my studio was that, oh, I was going to teach the adults and he would teach the kids classes. And it wasn't that way. Of course, he always helped me teach the kids class, but he specializes in adult. I mean, now he specializes in everything. But he has that experience, that training. I would only teach, even though I had my 200-hour, I would only do private lessons with adults, and not that often. But my whole thing was about kids. I was all over it. I mean, at all the schools, through the colleges.
She would be teaching after school programs. She would be helping for PE at my school.
Yeah, and then my students, my teens who were going through such. I have a few that have gone through a lot with their parents divorcing. That's hard on kids.
Right.
And, changing schools or changing best friends is just as devastating for them as like a breakup. And just coming to my classes, they would feel so much better and happier, and they would write letters to their school. We both got awards, a teacher appreciation award for how much we helped them. And if it wasn't for us in our classes, they said I wouldn't have made it through Christmas, this holiday, having to not be with both parents, or I would not. I have chills thinking about it, that we've made that much of an impact. And it was shocking, but not really when you think about it, knowing what yoga provides.
Right.
And then we help those kids at the same time turn vegan too, because at every class we would have vegan treats for them to take home. Without putting it in their face, like, you guys can have it. And then the moms would call and say, my kids want to go vegan. Can you help us with that? Without us even saying anything.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it goes together, I mean, you are wearing that Ahimsa t-shirt, Ahimsa is the first step of yoga.
Yeah, it is.
One of the most
important step, yeah. I mean, people seem to sort of forget that,
or not understand it fully.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, well, I didn't understand it fully. I mean, I didn't understand a lot of things at the beginning when I was doing my training. I kind of just was thrown in and never even taking a class. But once you start to allow yourself to learn and be open to it, you get so much more information. You get so much more information and knowledge. Today was on the cover of the Yoga Journal magazine, and in the questions, interview questions, one of the questions was,
what do you wish more yogis would realize?
Right.
And his answer, before they published it, there was some controversy. Some people said, don't do that. You're going to turn a lot of yogis off, because...
My answer was, I wish more yogis would realize that ahimsa doesn't just mean nonviolence to people, means to all beings. And to follow ahimsa, you should adopt a plant-based diet, vegan diet.
Right.
And they said, you shouldn't say that. You should just keep it general. And, and he said that this is my answer. And they're asking me a question, and I want to live my truth. And it's not that I'm volunteering something. They're asking me a question, and that's what comes up. And so they're like, okay. And he said, you're going to lose a lot of followers. And he said, I don't care if I'm going to lose a lot of followers.
They're not asking me a question of something that makes more people happy. It's what I believe in.
Exactly.
Right. It makes people happy. If it makes people upset, it's what I believe is true.
And actually, he got really great feedback from so many people, non-vegan yogis and vegans. He was the first one to put out veganism into the Yoga Journal magazine ever. And so a lot of people called him and thanked him for that, messaged him, and also people who are yogis who had not made that transition actually considered it after reading what Tibet wrote, because they have a lot of respect for him as a yogi.
Right.
So I'm glad that he stuck, because I know he would. I knew he was going to do it, because he doesn't do anything or say anything to make someone happy or not happy. He's just himself. He's living true.
And hopefully it does make people happy.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right. It's actually the second step of Panchayama, right? Panchayama, the first step is ahimsa, second step is satya.
Yep.
Truth. Yeah. Tell the truth.
Right.
Yeah, you're living it. You're living your yoga.
Thank you.
Thank you. So how many, I know that Victoria Moran is organizing a yoga and veganism conference, I think, in March. Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware of that. Are you? No.
Oh, I'll send you a link and I'll connect you.
We're aware of it now. Thank you for making it clear.
Yes.
Because I think Jiva Mukti Yoga, the founder of Jiva Mukti Yoga in New York, is vegan, I think, right?
Okay.
So, yeah. So it's now getting out there. People are becoming more aware of it. Yeah.
A lot of people are starting to put it together.
Yeah.
Well, there's so much more information. There's so many more people that are vegan now, and they're using their voice. They're expressing themselves, some louder than others. and everyone is on social media nowadays, and it's flooded with, you don't have to be following, there's always someone sharing and posting, and I think that's really great. I think that's, and then of course you go to the market and there's not just one little section now.
There's a whole aisle of vegan food.
In every aisle you find.
There used to be in the dairy section all the non-vegan milk and then one soy milk or one vegan milk, but now there's a whole entire refrigerator of vegan milk.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we can see it exponentially growing.
Yeah.
It's hard to avoid it now.
Right. I think soon, one of these days, you're going to see our food at the market.
I'm looking forward to that day. A whole food plant-based versions of everything.
We're working on it. I mean, not everything, but most of the things we go there, and the healthiest food that you find there in the frozen section, they still have oil. They still have, ingredients that you don't want to use. So we're working on that.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to get our book launch first. That's our priority. We've been putting it off, but now people are seeing more of our food, and Tibet is posting so much that they're like knocking our door down. Give me that recipe.
Right, I know.
And so, most of it we do, a lot of it, Tibet will do like a 30-day challenge, or he'll do a video and then he'll share it, and then he'll do a link to his site. But there are some recipes that we've worked on for a couple of years or more that we're saving special for our recipe, our cookbook. But people are like, when is it coming out? And they want to pre-order it right now. So definitely before the end of the year.
Awesome. Wow. Yeah. Thank you. That's great to know.
Yeah.
So by the end of the year, we'll have another recipe book to look forward to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely come back and share that with you.
Yes.
How about, have you thought about starting your own chef school?
Oh, yes. That's been something that we've talked about actually before even being vegan. It just now a lot more so. Right. So, but that is something, so, we have, of course, a timeline of highlights of the things that we want to do short-term and long-term. Because we have so many things on our plate with filming and
lots of vegan food on our plate.
Classes. We have a lot of vegan food. Very funny. That's going to be something not too long-term, but that's a lot of planning and organizing that we haven't put everything together. And we want to make, when we do something, we don't want to just do it just to do it.
Right.
We want to just figure out, because we're doing our cooking classes. We're doing group cooking classes
and yoga
classes and private classes. So all of that is helping the transition, but there's still at least a year or two to getting all the details, because many people ask us. They said, if you did that, we'll be the first ones to register. And so that is definitely one of the goals. But we have a lot, and it all involves helping make people more mindful and helping the planet and the animals.
Thank you, Paige.
What?
Yeah.
No, I just missed something.
Okay, let me show it again. So,
Paige, thank you, Paige.
Yeah, no, this is it's important. I mean, people are going to get in touch with you.
Oh, we should take a screenshot of that today so that we can post that too. Thank you. And Paige is so super supportive. She has gotten merchandise from Tibet. Oh, Tibet, that was not good. Can you do that? was not something. Okay. And I really appreciate that so much. Yeah, thank you guys for the support, because of course, we need that support to continue doing what we're doing as well. And so it's nice, and his energy is so good. So all the merchandise is basically Tibet. It's not me. No one has asked for the helmet yet.
Yes.
But if someone else, you? Oh, that's right. Okay, we got one person asking for some helmet. Yeah.
So you also donate all your proceeds to cancer research or cancer organizations, right?
Yes.
Since I started 5 years ago, I've been donating all of the money I've made from my yoga classes, cooking classes, appearances, everything to helping people who have cancer. And because this is why I wanted to be a yoga teacher, to help people. And so donating my time, my money. Now I've graduated high school. I'm starting to focus more on this as a career. I'm starting to transition to having this be helping me in my future and making a living. But of course, I'm going to continue to donate time and money to cancer patients, because this is why I wanted to be a yoga teacher. But just now I'm starting to transition to make sure that I can continue to do that in the future too.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long time, 5 years. He's done a lot of appearances, a lot of shows, a lot of classes, a lot of partnerships, ambassadorship programs, all of his website money, his cooking classes, which has nothing to do with yoga, but it does. But his whole thing was, Mom, I want to do all of it. I want to give all of it. And then once he graduated high school last year, actually at age 14.
The year before last year, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, no, last year.
It was
2020.
2020. We started talking about more, okay, now what do you want to do? And he said, well, I want this to be my full-time career. And I said, okay, that's great. And at first he's like, okay, not at first, for the last year, he's continued to put all the money that he's made, 100% of it, to people with cancer. And he does it directly to people with cancer. He doesn't.
There's some organizations that I also donate to, but I make sure first that they donate 100% to people who have cancer.
Yeah, because there's a lot of organizations that when he'd asked, okay, where's this money going to go to? They said, well, 25% of it we donate. And he's like, that's not enough. I mean, it's
anything
better
is
than nothing.
But I'd rather donate to one that helps more, 100%. To people with cancer.
Yeah, so he has organizations that he donates to, all of them on his website.
And also, if like a cancer patient has a GoFundMe, I'll donate to them too.
All the time, yeah. And also, being vegan now, he also donates every month to an animal sanctuary, which is another thing that's on his
website.
His website,
I have charities that I support on the website. The list of the ones that I support a lot, and that way other people who want to help support them too, they can go to my website on the charities tab and help them out.
And also, since the beginning of time, since I got certified in 2012 and Tibet started teaching, my thing was also not to donate all my money, but to help anyone who has cancer. Because, I wish I had cancer and knew about it when I had, I wish I knew about yoga when I had cancer, sorry.
Right.
And so when I opened up my yoga studio, anyone that had cancer or had it at that time or had it before, I never charged them.
Or whose family has been affected by cancer.
Yeah, so the families of the cancer patients or the people who had it, I always, from 2012 until now, I've never charged them. They've always done that for free with me. We help them also transition to a vegan diet. We do weekly cooking classes, yoga classes with them and their families to help them. And but Tibet, his whole reason for even wanting to do this was to just solely help people with cancer. And so now he's growing, and now he's making such a big impact and difference in people's lives, not just yoga, but veganism. We've just decided in the next, thank you, Rebecca. In the last 2 months of how the best way to transition so that, because we of course don't have the financial sources to just do this for free, it's just the two of us, and this has been my career, and basically he's taken it over, people call to book classes with him now, and so to be able to continue to help people and make a difference, which we know the world definitely needs today, and his guidance for many years to come, hopefully, we're going to have this be where he donates a percentage of the proceeds or however much he wants, but to keep the rest for his future. He's got college to go to, he's got his future, and so this is going to be the next phase of his life, which is to have this be a full-time career that he's he's dedicated almost 1,000 hours of time just in teacher trainings alone. Forget about everything that he's been doing teaching, just learning. And so now it's going to change a little bit, but not much.
But it's not going to change
because he's still
my mission.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's still going to be donating weekly classes and money as well. He just hasn't decided how much he wants to keep and how much he wants to donate.
So what do you want to do when you go to college?
What do I want to study?
Yes.
3D computer modeling.
3D computer modeling.
Yes.
Wow. I have something for you to do.
There you go.
Yeah. No, modeling is so important because, ultimately it's through models that we figure out what decisions to make.
Yes.
Yeah. And so there are a lot of new models that need to be written now, because we are imagining a new civilization, which is a huge modeling task. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we always, I used to work on computer chips.
Really?
And, and so we had to model everything. Otherwise, whatever you're building is not going to work.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to study.
Wonderful. Have you chosen a university do you want to go to?
No, but there's 2 that I've heard of that offer that.
Yeah. But he's gonna wait. He's gonna wait at least another year.
Well, because I wanted to graduate high school earlier so that I could focus on my career, not so I could go directly to college. I want to have a little bit of time now to just focus on yoga and cooking.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And he knows where it's gonna take us, right? I mean, there's so many things we want to do. We want to have our cooking show. We want to do our books. We want to educate people. We want to. There's a lot of projects that we can't share yet that are happening, which is really exciting. But as soon as we're able to announce it, we'll definitely let you know. I mean, everybody's going to know.
Okay.
But this is taking us on so many different wonderful, exciting paths that it's definitely keeping us busy.
Yes.
It's wonderful to have you in our movement. It's wonderful that you are leading us, in this direction, because I think this is the future.
Thank you so much. It's always so wonderful.
Help share.
Yes.
And inspire.
Right. So,
you want to? He wants.
We need to do that. Yes, this time.
Yes. I would like to end the way I end all my classes. Just bring your hands together to your forehead and repeat after me. Think good thoughts.
Think good thoughts.
Lower to your mouth. Speak kind words.
Speak kind words.
Lower to your heart. Feel love.
Feel love.
Feel love.
Be love.
Be love.
And give love.
And give love.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Vegan.
Vegan. Beautiful. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you for having us.
Inspiring as always.
Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you in person.
Yeah.
Yes. Look forward to that.
We still have to make you that vegan kebab.
Yes.
Yes.
And the crunchy rice.
Crunchy rice. Yeah. Look forward to that.
A picture of the first time we did it, that tahdig with no oil.
Yeah.